what
It's
it
a
is.
dog's life.
It is. It's a dog's life.
Hmm.
All right, so
Life.
we're live.
Hey, folks, welcome to Monday night and welcome to the Rooted in Foods Davis's Eats Kitchen. I'm
Mhm.
Nikki.
Hi, Chili.
And guess what?
We're the
We're
Davises.
still the Davises.
Still 23 plus years.
Yeah, we did celebrate in our hiatus. We celebrated an anniversary. So we are absolutely still the Davises. Both of the hound dogs are roaming through the kitchen. I will do my best not to have an I Love Lucy moment, trip over one or both.
Yeah.
Or myself.
Yeah.
It is Monday, you know. So we've been gone for a minute
2 weeks.
between high school graduation and travel and some other things.
Holiday and illness.
Yeah, an anniversary, and it was just a busy, just a busy handful of weeks. So, but we are back and we are kicking off the month of June a week late. But we are headed virtually to the Mediterranean area.
The Northern Mediterranean.
Yeah, primarily. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry. I had to stop and think about that. Um, so tonight we will be working with a handful of different types of Italian cuisine. And if you think about, you know, the boot and the heel of the boot of Italy, we're kind of down near the ankle area. So one of our dishes comes from Naples and the other comes from Puglia. I don't know where this comes from.
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Daddy.
And hey, Mama. And well, I'm assuming my
Yes.
mother. Okay. And salad from Southern Illinois
Yeah.
with an Italian flair. So we'll do that. So then we've got Greece on deck. I don't remember if it's next week or the week after. We've got Spain on deck. Spain is kind of the Barcelona area. So if you like Mediterranean flavors, make sure you tune in on Monday nights. We'll be doing a lot of seafood starting with tonight. So before I get into all of that, what are we?
We're doing an Aperol Spritz.
I'm going to get out of the way so
You're
you can make mine.
Okay. Try to get out of the way.
They're laying still. They're being good.
They're
sitting pretty.
Though, right in the middle of everything.
I'm going to get out of the way of everything. Right. Well, there comes one.
Yeah. To make an Aperol Spritz.
Hello. I'm glad that wasn't aimed at me.
Oh, can you ice me up, please?
I can ice you.
Thank you.
Up or down?
Quite a bit. Not a ton. We want ice in there, or they're going to want their
ice packs.
Yeah.
Enough? Another?
Oh, a little bit more. Like that one's plenty. This one needs part.
Hang on, Squirt. What you want?
All right. For an Aperol Spritz, you're going to want 3 ounces of Prosecco.
You want one too? There you go. You don't like them as much, but you eat them because she eats them.
And the one before her.
Well, so, she's going to munch on one, maybe.
So we're doing. Gotta get the bubbles done.
So why do you stick? So if we were serving this to friends,
I wouldn't stick.
We wouldn't stick our finger in it. But why are you sticking your finger in it? What is it about your finger that does that, though?
Oils. And it's clean. I did wash my fingers and my hands just before I took them on air, so they are clean. 3 ounces Prosecco.
Sometimes we catch ourselves doing things live in our kitchen that we don't do when we feed other people.
Yeah. I just didn't want to wait.
No, I know.
I wanted to get into
We wanted to get a drink going.
Get this show on the road.
Let us know if you're watching. Say hi. We like to talk to our
guests.
Our guests.
It's like you're in our kitchen with us.
You're just virtually in our kitchen
without the benefits of getting to eat.
Well, and without the mess that comes after the benefits of getting to eat.
So we've got 3 ounces Prosecco, 2 ounces of Aperol, and then finally another little bubbly ounce of club soda. Or soda water, or any other fizzy.
Show that bottle of Prosecco, because it's actually in Italy.
You're over there by the camera.
I am. Let's look for the blue label.
At Westroads here in Carbondale.
Yeah, so shout out to Westroads. I mean, we pretty well shop at all of our liquor stores, but everything for tonight came from Westroads. So shout out
Hmm.
to Sarah for knowing what
Yeah.
we needed when we walked in tonight.
Yep. Needing more Aperol because
Right?
that was
Yeah,
the
that
amount.
was, yeah, you've got almost enough for one, but not quite.
Two,
Well,
one
good.
round. That's it. So I don't know who else is watching.
Cheers.
Cheers. It is nice orangey color drink.
Hmm.
Mm.
It is. Aperol is very bitter, which is why the Prosecco kind of balances that, the sweetness in the
Mm.
Prosecco.
That's
Um,
but it is a perfect appetizer, an aperitif cocktail. It
it's
is
good
a
for summer because it's fizzy. Hey,
mhm.
Jen. But it is good.
It is
You need
delicious.
one.
Yeah.
Um, but because of the color, like October, November,
Mhm.
you can be a little fizzy in
Mhm.
the fall, the fizzy fall drink.
Oh, that's good. That is right on there.
Oh, I need to cook now.
Oh yeah, you can.
Okay. Sorry. Mhm.
Just gonna enjoy your cocktail.
Mhm.
So,
Westroads needs t-shirts. I need to tell them that next time we're there. I'm gonna
so
set
kind of,
this over here.
some Westroads t-shirts.
Well, you know how I am about wearing t-shirts of the things that we
Mhm. We're
showcase
using the shirts.
on the tubes. All right, so our first little bite is actually I'm heading north of Italy a bit with a French batard. We've talked about baguettes versus batards before, versus just your standard French bread loaf that you buy at the grocery store. So baguettes are long and skinny, same French bread dough, but they're long and skinny. They're really good for small bites, dipping. And I'm folding this up so I can stash it and have it for after a while. Um, baguettes are a little bit longer than this, but quite a bit skinnier, thinner.
Now
Um,
they can see.
oh yeah, sorry, you're in charge of the camera.
It's been a while.
I'm
It's been
listening to
3
make sure
weeks.
the dogs don't get in a fight. Um, so batards are just shorter versions of the same, and um, kind of oblong shape. So if you look at it, well, here, let me just cut. I'm going to cut the very end off of it because we won't use that. So if you look at it that way, it's kind of oblong, oval shaped. So I'm going to cut, I usually cut a little bit on the bias, only because it's the way I mean, there's no rhyme or reason as to why you would or wouldn't cut straight across or on the bias, other than the way I hold things. It tends to be a little bit easier. So I'm cutting decently thin slices. And we're going to toast these with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to throw them in the um, that thing over there, the air fryer, toaster oven air fryer. I'm going to cut about half of this because we'll sit much on it
Oh, so
tonight.
skinny.
Now I will tell you, this is fresh baked. These come from the neighborhood food co-op here in Carbondale. This is the absolute best French bread I have ever eaten. Um, Even the French bread I had in France. So go get you one. They are $4.99 I think for these. I actually don't remember off the top of my head. $5.99 for these. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
I just wrap it back up in the packaging. I actually am going to throw this in the fridge because after a couple of days um, it'll start to get stale. In which case you can freeze it or make croutons. Done that. Sorry, I'm looking
always
for
make
my this thing. Um, this is thin enough. It's not going to take very long. So slicing bread like this, whether it's this size or like the little baguette size, is how you get, yeah, no, how you get, I'm going to go ahead and put these on here too, just, for shits and giggles. Um, get bruschetta
waste
started.
not
Yeah, exactly. So when you order bruschetta in a restaurant in America, you get bread topped with something, or you get a bowl of the topping with the bread around it. The bread is your bruschetta. That's your base. The topping is your topping. And a lot of people confuse the two. And I'm really just doing enough here to soften it up just a little bit. This is crunchy on the outside, soft in the middle. We're going to toast it up. And I've got it on a wire rack so I can use the air fryer accordingly. Yeah, back here. Let's see. I don't need to do it for long though. Whoop, no, we want to hang on. Okay, so that won't take for long. Now, how we're serving this. Raise your hand. I know at least two of you have done this or seen this. If you have ever had in an American, Italian, Italian-American restaurant or done this at home, olive oil, seasoned or otherwise, that you dip your bread in. We love doing that at home. That is not, by any stretch of the imagination, traditional or common in Italy. When you go into a restaurant in Italy and that's on the menu, it's because they're yes, they're catering to the American tourist. So that's one of your tips if you ever make it to Italy. There is, however, a region in Italy where it is more common to find, and it is in Puglia, which is down near the heel of the boot. And it's because they're in a really strong olive region at that point, or that place in Italy. So it's a little bit more common because of that, but you're still not going to see it in a lot of places. So we're kind of cheating tonight, doing a little American, a little Italian combination.
Jennifer says
It has to be really good olive oil and really good bread. And sometimes that's hard to get.
lots.
Yeah, so this is burrata. And I washed my hands. Burrata are mozzarella balls that are creamy in the middle.
Well, that's a good thing. This isn't ricotta.
It is not ricotta, Hurley,
Yeah.
because we know you don't like it.
We're not using
I don't
ricotta.
know that you caught that. So you can buy 2 balls of burrata.
Two balls.
They're good
Two
sized
balls,
balls
just like
too.
it's supposed to.
They come in liquid to keep them moist and soft. You want your balls to be moist and soft,
Sure,
a little squishy. I'm only going to use one tonight because I don't know that we'll eat more than that. Now, if you do like tomatoes, I'm skipping the tomato part because Chili Davis doesn't like them.
That's right.
Would you fridge, please?
Got it.
Left-hand crisper's fine if you want to, but oh, that bread already smells good. Mercy. I washed my hands. Hope you drank.
Tip your glass, everybody.
I am.
As soon as I get this.
That's okay. That's fine. Just find it at Tetris home, honey. And making sure I don't burn the bread because I have a tendency to do that. Oh, that smells so good. All right. So to this, if you had like cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, throw them in your air fryer to roast or in the oven to roast. Air fryer takes about 6 minutes. Oven's going to take 15, maybe 20, with some olive oil and some J Effect seasoning for sure. We're going to do a little bit of 2 things tonight. But roast your tomatoes, seasoned, salted, peppered, and then kind of line them here. They'll burst and squish a little bit, and then you can kind of just pile them on your plate. But I'm going to put the bread here. So we're going to give this an olive oil drizzle. Just, why not?
What are you using the pepper?
No, to cook. This is actually tastes better. Tonight we're going to use a basil finishing salt from Flora Bay Farm. So finishing salt is something that you use right before you serve. So on top of cheese, on top of an appetizer, on top of a salad. It's not something that you throw in as you're cooking because of the way it's made. And this is kind of like, I don't know that you guys can see that.
Yeah, they can.
Rock salt. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So we're going to use a little bit of that. So this is just basil.
Basil flavored?
Want to taste bite?
Um,
Taste.
oh, shit.
You could also, we use a lot of J Effect. The garlic and herb seasoning would be really good on this too. We're going to use it a little bit
Oh,
later. Yeah, I love their finishing salt.
mm,
And you get quite a bit.
mhm.
I've had this for a while, but it is so good.
It really didn't have like it's not an overpowering
Mm-mm,
taste.
it's not. Um, Now, bread in Italy is also not really an appetizer. It's something that's served with the meal. We're cheating because it's used to soak up, sauce and things. So
Oh, we'll have it
we're going to be
with as
soaking up
many
hot.
slices as we have. We'll be
We have more bread.
got your asbestos fingers going.
Yeah, but it's a little too warm. Oh, hello. A little bitty piece.
That was so nice.
And if you had your tomatoes and you wanted, this is probably too much bread for the plate, but that's okay. You wanted to do that, just put your bread in a basket and serve it alongside. All right. But here's the trick with the, you know what?
Still gonna do J effect.
I am going to use some J Effect just because, oh, hello, that's probably too much J Effect, but meh. We'll season that bread with some J Effect that is soaked into that olive oil.
Mhm.
Season your food, please. All right. Can you see?
I can
Everybody
see it.
see? Okay. When you cut into your burrata, it is super creamy on the inside. So it almost resembles cottage cheese. Mm-hmm.
That actually was oh, kind of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was mozzarella.
Well, so it starts out that way. It's going to taste a lot like mozzarella. I'm going to give you that bite.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm going to reshape my plate. Mm-hmm. We're going to put that there and that there.
I take some pictures, folks.
Well, mostly because I don't have my phone available and I don't want to. Too close.
Mm.
All right. I didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorites. So you can kind of scoop out the inside if you want to, but the outside clearly is fine to eat too. So, but everybody loves it because it's so creamy on the inside.
Mhm.
I just love it. No.
I'm sure they could hear the crunch, but they're so soft and chewy still on the inside.
Well, here, I'll crunch on my microphone. Actually, I'm gonna do that maybe slightly differently. I'm sure they heard that.
I hope so.
I'm so glad.
That is delicious. You just can't leave this over here by me. I'll eat all of it. And you won't be able to hear you because I'll be crunching. All right.
Good enough.
Out of my eyes.
All right, I'm gonna crunch my bread. So hold, please. Oh, so good. Mm. Mm.
So what's next? You can leave it there. It's fine.
Mhm.
Oh, no, don't put it over there. The dog will get it. You leave it over here so the chili can get to it.
Okay.
It'll be fine. I'll make sure not to go overboard.
Okay. What's next is I'm gonna finish my bite.
Okay. Wash your hands.
I rinse my hands anyway. Okay.
Okay.
So that was French batard from Neighborhood Food Co-op, burrata. Sometimes you can find that there too. They didn't have any when I was there last, so I had the run smoke. Olive oil. Invest in really good quality tasting olive oil. Don't buy the cheap stuff. You can cook with the cheap stuff. The flavor is not going to be quite so obvious. But for drizzling or salad dressings, buy good quality oil. Your taste buds will thank you. So will your belly. All right. Next item up for bid. We're going to make spaghetti with clam sauce. And usually you hear linguine with clam sauce in the US. That's what you'll be served, either white clam sauce or red clam sauce. White clam sauce should never have cream in it. Just letting you know, it's kind of like carbonara. There is no cream in it. It is garlic, parsley, olive oil, white wine, pepper, maybe. More or less garlic based on what you want, more or less pepper based on what you want, but it is absolutely no cream. So in Naples, they actually do this with spaghetti and not linguine. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
Honor of the night.
All right. I'm a fan of California olive oil, just to kind of give them a shout out, and they can send me more if they want to, because I'm about out. There's a variety of kinds. You can get like the truly extra virgin single olive oil. It's pretty expensive. I like their global blends because they blend different oils together, and it's delicious. They also make the chef's bottles now, which I love. So I just keep refilling the chef bottle, and I will do that until it wears out on me. Tonight to cook with, I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit pepperier, a little bit more of a bite of pepper than the other. So we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of this in the same pot we cooked our spaghetti in. Chili's busy eating. I'm busy wiping my hands because I have olive oil on them again. It's okay. All right, so olive oil in the pan. We're going to heat. I'll talk about the clams later because in Southern Illinois we cannot medium to high, yeah, at least until you get it going. We cannot get fresh clams in Southern Illinois. We can get mussels, but I very rarely find fresh clams. So I always just buy the can of clams. These are chopped. They're actually pretty good size. I prefer the whole baby clams. But nobody had any. There's a shortage or something. I have no idea what's going on. So I just
Clams.
Yes. So we have balls tonight. We have clams tonight. This is 2 of the small, I think they're either 4 or 6 ounce cans. I don't remember. 2 of those drained, but I reserved the juice because you'll want a little bit of it at least. So, so that is kind of the main part of the sauce. I've got 5 garlic cloves. I buy my garlic cloves already peeled at Fresh Foods here in Carbondale. They come in a little container. I buy a couple of them at a time for a few bucks. Throw them in the freezer. They last forever. So 4, 5, 6 of those. White wine, which tonight I'm using a dry save all from StarView, which is part of our Shawnee Hills Wine Trail. I've already opened it, so I don't want to tilt that too much here, but one of my favorites from there. Buy wine you want to drink to cook with. Again, don't buy the cheap stuff. And also going in this tonight, sorry, I'm moving things around. I've got some parsley we'll chop up in a little bit. But I have Calabrian chili peppers. These are Italian. These are from the Neighborhood Food Co-op. They are import, so a little bit more expensive. Totally worth it, however. So because they had them, I picked up a jar of chopped, which you'll easily find them chopped. I also picked up a jar of whole. I'm going to open the whole so you can see what they look like, and then I'll just chop them myself after I get the cutting board out. I've got a little cutting board out, but that's okay. I'm going to move my clams.
I'm out of the way.
Yep, pretty much how that works. All right. I'm going to have to move a little bit quickly here, so I'm going to get some things set up that I didn't have set up to begin with. I'm also, I think, probably going to wear a glove
Well, no love, as they
because we
say.
know how I am with hot peppers. So Calabrian peppers are somewhere between the 30 and 40,000 on the Scoville scale. That
What do you
is, no, I turned it down. That is, I think just shy of cayenne. I think cayenne's a little bit hotter than that, but not by much. If you think in terms of jalapeno, which most of us have eaten around here, we're about 10 times hotter than a typical jalapeno. Oh, there we go. So glove, and here's what they look like. Now these are in oil. The whole ones are. So you could use a little bit of that olive oil or olive pickle pepper oil, but here's what they look like. So do you want to try one?
I do.
I'll give you just the tip.
Yep, that's what I tell her.
You-
All right,
that might not be enough of a bite.
oh,
You tell me how hot they are. I'm gonna leave the seeds in them just because it's easier. Hot, not hot? Really?
I mean, you gave me a thimble size, not even thimble size.
Hot. Not so hot you can't handle the heat though. So given that, they're a little bit difficult to cut, so we're not going to worry too much about what they look like. I'm going to pull another one out of here.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll pull some of the seeds out just because I think they're not as pretty either as the pepper. Now, when you wear gloves to handle peppers and you're cutting, be careful that you know where your fingers are. Right. Yeah, that's probably enough. You want another one? Okay.
Do one.
One more. We'll do another one. Whichever one is on top here. Yeah, I mean, you all know that my nose runs with the heat, but it doesn't bother my stomach, so I'm not real, I'm not worried about the heat necessarily. It just makes my nose run. All right.
I like it.
You do indeed. But I'd rather be safe and right. So that one is unopened. It does not need to go in the fridge. That will at some point if there's room for it. All right, before I put the peppers in, I'm gonna put all this garlic in. I'm also gonna move my drink out of the way so I don't spill. I would hate to spill. Yeah, I'm all good.
Okay.
Oh, smell it.
Oh, that's so delicious.
Right? Move your garlic around, especially when it's going in with nothing else in, because,
Add the peppers?
yeah, go ahead. I've got it on low so it doesn't snap crackle on top too much. Thank you. Rinsing my hands. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. So we've got some little tan flecks in there. That's the pepper seed, not the garlic burning. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's hard to see. And that, does that make it worse? No? Okay. I was trying not to dirty too many pans.
Oh, it smells
Oh,
good.
it smells so good. Okay, I'm gonna chop up a little bit of parsley to go in right now, so we have the flavor. I do have a tendency to dirty all my knives, though.
Mhm.
hmm the thin stems on the parsley, don't worry about. Chop them; they'll be fine. The thicker ones, right, you don't want that in there, but okay, we're gonna throw that in just to get it kind of charred. Not the typical order there. I happen to like parsley that's been cooked a little bit more than just sprinkled on top. All
What
right.
next?
So the next part is going to be our wine. We want about 2 ounces to start. Let's see what kind of sauce that's going to make and how much it's going to make. We're going to throw a little bit more in there.
We're at about 3 ounces.
Yeah, roughly. And I'm going to go ahead and throw my clams in so they heat up, heat through. These are already cooked, so you don't need to do anything other than heat them through. Now, if we were using fresh clams, then you need to steam them, make sure they open like they're supposed to, all of those kinds of things. I'm going to add just a little bit of the clam juice to it, but it doesn't need a lot.
You want to turn the heat up a little bit?
Yes, I do. All right. So the other thing I'm going to do, I neglected to um, keep pasta water to thicken with. I'm going to hit this with a teeny tiny bit of J Effect because we can, and we should. So I'm going to do just a little bit of a cornstarch slurry with some white wine. It won't take much, just enough to thicken this because I didn't save my pasta water. I got
Oh,
a little
hurried.
excited.
Oh, hurried.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of sauce there. I only did 8 ounces of pasta. So you don't need a lot. We're looking at roughly a cup of pasta sauce. Roughly a cup of really good pasta sauce. Okay.
That was a little lemon juice for the.
That didn't see it, yeah. Buy good quality pasta. Also, like the better the quality you can afford to buy, the better tasting your food's going to be. All right, would you turn that down a little, please, so I can. All right, so then our pasta is going to go in on top. So 8 ounces of pasta,
Seasoned.
seasoned, boiled in salt water.
Right.
Thank you. And we're just going to toss. To coat. Now, you don't want this like drowning. That's not the point here. We want it coated. So you get a good bite of pasta. We're going to just let that hang out on low while we make our salad. I'm going to move things out of the way to do it. You don't really put cheese in it. We don't drown it in Parmesan. If you want a little bit of that on top when you serve it, that's up to you. But all right. Our last little nugget is a real simple leaf lettuce salad. I've got a head of leaf lettuce that I'll be honest with you, I've had for almost 2 weeks. The end of a farmer's market haul. This is from Country Sprout Organics. I know you can buy their stuff at Neighborhood Food Co-op, and you can buy it at Carmel Farmers Market that I know of. We're going to tear that off. And you can cut this if you want, but if you've got like chop it with a knife, but if you've got herb scissors, that's really all you need. You can also just tear it, good old fashioned tearing it up. Make those pieces are a little. And I've got another bag. I'll pull a green leaf lettuce out, or two, because that's a little guy. If your lettuce starts to get a little wilty, dunk it in some cold water for 30, 45 minutes, and that water the leaves will soak up, the veins in the lettuce leaves will soak up that water, and they'll be nice and crispy again. Once you get to the point where you see slime on your lettuce, throw it out. Or give it to the chickens or the rabbits or whatever else you might have floating around. Yeah, I'm going to stir this again. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it from sticking to the bottom. All right, top of that, we're going to do shredded parm. I buy this brand at Schnucks. Sartori. They had a bunch on closeout because people aren't buying it right now. It's $6 a bag. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it is some of the best that I've had.
It's delicious.
And it's very nutty. So if you want it already shredded, don't have to worry about anything, go for it. And last but not least, usually we make salad dressing, but I wanted to show off Crystal's original salad dressing tonight. So this is actually a product made by one of our local caterers, and it's delicious. Anytime you get salad from Crystal's Catering, this is going to be what's on it. You can buy this in all sorts of places. Typically, I'll pick one up at either Annabelle Market in Anna or over at Louis P&R. And Smalls Meat Market, I've seen it over there. So a handful of places. Use as much or as little as you want. Salad doesn't have to be anything, massively full of stuff. Good leaf lettuce, good dressing, good quality cheese, nice big pretty bowl. Croutons if you have them, but we've got bread, so we'll skip that. There you go. Easy breezy.
In 40 minutes.
I'm just going to set that right on top. Okay, that's kind of silly. Just move things out of the way. Yeah, when we take pictures in the kitchen, we just take pictures however they show up. Everything in the background, nobody cares. All right, there's our salad. Here you go. And I need a plate. Pardon. Ooh, that pepper has my nose running. Don't mind telling ya. Chili is eating right out of the bowl. All right.
Oh, that's good.
Now, because I'm using canned clams, and don't like turn your nose up. They taste like clams. You're not going to get like, weird taste. Um, that's all we can find around here. So when we want things like this, that's what we do. But because they're canned, they're harder to see in the on the plate. Probably could have added a little bit more pepper, but that's okay. And hang on. Oh, here you are. You wanting to eat some?
No, of course.
The other part of this is all the clams end up at the bottom. So make sure everybody has a good amount of stuff. There you go. Chili's gonna take a bite.
Well, you take pictures.
One more picture. All done.
Hmm?
I said one more picture. Oh, my
I know what.
nose. What? Right? Let's stick those in the background too. Well, I don't usually stop and do it, but because of my phone's up there and we had 3 different things to eat, we're gonna stop and do it.
Yeah, I think so. She's got the other room.
Sorry.
Flavor. It's got a little heat to it.
That's not gonna work.
It's a little touch of heat. It's very nice.
All right, I'm gonna get myself a fork. I'm gonna eat right out of the pot though.
Oh, I see. I had got you a fork out there.
Oh, that's okay.
That's just yeah. It doesn't hurt anything.
Oh, God.
It was delicious.
Mm.
I'm ready though.
Messy.
Yeah. Pretty much
Okay.
gonna wrap up. We've got
Mhm.
cocktail, a main course, a side dish, and an appetizer. All done.
Wow. I mean, I boiled the pasta early. That really only takes 8 or 10 minutes. Then you can do some of this other stuff as your pasta's boiling.
Yeah.
So we're
43 minutes.
yeah.
42 minutes, 43
You guys,
minutes.
you can cook from scratch on a weeknight. It's not that, just be smart and plan ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah. So spaghetti with clam sauce. You saw how we built that.
Mhm.
Simple leaf lettuce salad. Local greens, local salad dressing, simple get you started appetizer, delicious drink.
Yep.
We're gonna go eat now.
Ready?
So, and man, my nose is running. It just is.
It is what it is for
It's
you.
my brand. I'm on brand tonight.
You are.
T-shirt, jeans. My nose is running.
Mhm.
So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. So we started our June month of Mediterranean, and I think it's Spain next week. Pretty sure it's Spain.
That's probably what I wanted to be.
And my Spanish dishes are a takeoff of things that the kiddo and I had in Barcelona when we were there a couple summers ago. So that'd be a fun revisit for the two of us. You'll get to visit for the first time. Beautiful city.
That's it.
That's it. We're gonna go eat.
We want to eat. You guys have fun.
We'll see you later.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, my nose. We will see you next Monday. Enjoy your week and eat good food. Bye.